talk about mediums. Mediums are something that you would apply to your oil paints in order to either increase the flow, increase the brush work, or increase or decrease the drying time. So I'm going to walk through the 4 mediums that I use, but before I do that, I'm actually going to talk about a term here real quick, because you'll hear this term viscosity used quite a bit by oil painters, but what it means, and it's a fancy word for stickiness. So what does it mean when we talk about viscosity in terms of mediums? So you'll see high viscosity or low viscosity. And if we think about water versus honey, okay? Honey is high viscosity. It's sticky and it's thick. So what that means is that the oil paint is going to be able to stick to the previous layer more easily. That's high viscosity. Honey, high honey. Okay, that's kind of how I remember it. The low viscosity, think of water. It's nice and runny, it's very fluid, and it's going to be very smooth. So you would pick a particular medium, whether it's high viscosity, low viscosity, whether it dries fast, dries slow, based on the desired results that you want. So, for example, if you want in those final stages the brush strokes to really show, but you want it to dry fast, there's a particular medium for that, and that's one that I use, and it's called solvent-free gel by Gamblin. It's a high viscosity, meaning it's very thick and it sticks, and then because it's a gel, it's going to keep my brush strokes. It's beautiful, love it. So anyway, I'm gonna take you through this on the palette. And this exercise, I have 4 little palettes set up, and I'm putting French ultramarine blue onto each one. This first medium that I'm going to demonstrate is Neil McGilt. Neil McGilt is great for glazing. I use this one a lot. It is very thick, and it's got a high viscosity, which means it's going to really stick to the previous layers really well. So like I said, I use this a lot for glazing, and so to really get that transparency, that glass look that I put into animals' eyes, that is done by using this medium and doing glaze upon glaze upon glaze. But what's interesting is how it actually plays out when I start painting with it. What I really like about this medium is also, not only is it great for glazing, but it dries pretty fast, so I can work on it multiple days, but even if I want to work on a painting in one day, the medium itself and the paint stays workable for several hours. So if I mess up, I could easily kind of, take some Gamsol and wipe it away. But check this out. Watch how this really just moves and glides so smoothly. It's so pretty. Like I said, it's pretty transparent, so it's going to take layer upon layer upon layer. And look how just smooth it moves. It's like butter. Love Neil McGilt. This next medium that I'm going to demonstrate is Galkyd. Galkyd is a fast-drying medium. So I know there's a lot of complaints with oil painting that it takes too long to dry and so on. Well, this is definitely one of those fixes. So it only takes like a couple of drops of this Galkyd to really get it to work. And what I really like about the Galkyd is it really keeps the pigment of the paint. So if you notice with the Neil McGilt, it actually kind of thinned it and gave it this really translucent, beautiful glow. With the Galkyd, it maintains the richness of the original pigment. The value of Galkyd and how I use it is I use it for, like, if I want the painting to dry fast, I want to keep the color richness, and so you'll hear the term alla prima. It means all at once, and this is when I want to do a painting in just one sitting. I can use the Galkyd and really just knock it out, and look how beautiful that gloss is. It really adds a beautiful gloss, transparency. The flow is just like butter. It's just fabulous. Check out the difference between Neil McGilt and Galkyd. The colors are just significantly different. Again, that's because the Neil McGilt, you're going to add layer upon layer. With Galkyd, it's fast drying, and once you put it down, So this is really just kind of laying that initial color down and getting it on the canvas. This next medium that I'm going to demonstrate, it's not actually a medium, it's actually a solvent. This is Gamsol. And so you'll notice as I'm trying to put some of it onto my paint there's not much that'll actually go onto the palette knife. That's because it has such a low viscosity. It is like water, it's just going to flow off because it is mineral spirits. So I'm playing around with it a little bit, and it's really just not moving like what I want it to. The only way to get it to move is to actually use your paintbrush. You're going to have to dip your paintbrush into the Gamsol itself to really get it to move. But once I have some Gamsol actually on my brush, look how smooth it moves. It's really just moving along. How I use this, I use it for my toning of my overall canvas. When I first got started, I had my drawing on the canvas or the panel, and now I use this Gamsol along with a little bit of paint to tone the overall canvas. And it's going to dry really quick. And it has the same color and kind of consistency as what you would see with the Neo Magilp, but the difference is the Gamsol is going to dry super fast. Like that level of thin right there is probably going to be dry within about 20 minutes. So it's great for the initial toning of the painting. This next medium that I'm going to demonstrate is the solvent-free gel. And this has got a very high viscosity. It is a gel. So what's fabulous about this, not only does it dry pretty quick, like 3-4 days, which if you were to create thick paint onto your canvas just using straight out of the tube paint, that straight out of the tube paint could take weeks or months or a very long time to actually dry. But using this medium, you're going to be able to achieve the thickness that you want just straight out of the tube, but it's going to dry within like 3 to 4 days. Check out how beautiful these strokes are. It's going to keep these strokes, and so you'll be able to see the brush work. How I use this medium is at the end of a painting. So when I mentioned fat over thin, I'm keeping thin layers all throughout the painting until the final stages when I'm going to use this solvent-free gel to really add in the texture and those brush strokes to make interesting piece of art. Look how beautiful it is. It's got a gorgeous gloss to it. Drying time 3 to 4 days. It's just a fabulous way to end a painting. Look at that. Look at the difference between the Neo Magilp and the solvent-free gel. Significant difference. Same paint, same French ultramarine blue, but it's different mediums. Here's the Galkid and the solvent-free gel. Same color, same beautiful, but the difference is in the ability to see the strokes. And there's the Gamsol versus the solvent-free gel. Look at that. Such a huge difference.